Cyclone MMA. Alright guys, so it's 2023, it's early January, and we don't have a whole lot of MMA going on right now. We got a couple weeks until the next UFC event, so I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to look through all of the current champions, and I'm going to tell you who's losing their belt in 2023, and I'm going to tell you who's keeping their belt and holding on to it for this whole year. So we're going to start in the flyweight division. You got an interim champion, you got your true champion. Brand Moreno's the interim. Deiveson Figueiredo's your champion of the flyweight division. Now, things to think about here. Moreno and Figueiredo are fighting for the fourth time. They're very evenly matched. I'm leaning Figueiredo to win the belt, or not win the belt, but remain champion and defend his belt. Some things to think about is he has trouble making weight, so is a move up to bantamweight in play for this year. I'm going to play it safe. I'm going to say Deiveson Figueiredo is a champion December 31st, 2023, and on January 1st, 2024, he's got the belt. I could be wrong. I'm rooting for my boy Moreno, but I'm saying Deiveson Figueiredo remains champion. Moving on to bantamweight division, you have Aljamain Sterling. He's your champion. He might fight Henry Cejudo. He might fight Sean O'Malley. Who knows? Freaking Cheeto Vera, Corey Sandhagen. There's a lot of fights, a lot of potentials for 2023 for him. I think he is losing the belt. No disrespect to Aljamain Sterling. I think you're a true champion. I think there's a lot of problems in that division, and I think it could change hands a couple of times. So that's where I'm going. Moving on to the featherweight division, you have Alexander Volkanovski. He's going up in weight right now. He's going to fight Islam Makhachev. You have Josh Emmett and Yair Rodriguez fighting for an interim title. Now, I am picking Alexander Volkanovski to be champion at the end of the year. I think Yair and Josh Emmett, I think they have interesting problems for Alexander to solve, but I think he'll solve it. I think he's a pound-for-pound great. I don't know. We'll talk about Islam versus Alex more on that later. But in terms of like Josh Emmett and Yair Rodriguez, I see Alexander beating both of these guys. And I also see him not being able to fight too many other times in 2023 in the featherweight division, especially if he wins the lightweight title. If he's able to do that, he has to fight there once, and he has to fight at featherweight. So I'm going to go ahead and say Alexander Volkanovski is your featherweight champion by the end of 2023. Moving on to lightweight, you got Islam Makhachev. Like I said, he's fighting Alexander Volkanovski. He's defending his belt. Who's after that if he wins? I mean, I don't know. Maybe a Charles Oliveira rematch. Maybe Justin Gaethje or Poirier. He hasn't fought them. They're always, in play for title fights. Beneil Dariush is deserving. Maybe Rafael Fiziev. With all of that being said, I think Islam Makhachev is Khabib 2.0. I think he beats Alexander Volkanovski. I think he remains the lightweight champion. I think we're going to see a new title reign here. So Islam Makhachev is your champion at the end of 2023. All right, welterweight division, Leon Edwards. Right away, I'm just saying it. He's not going to have the belt by the end of 2023 because he's got too many tanks in this division. I don't know how he does against someone like Colby Covington. I think if Kamaru Usman comes back, I think he beats him. I think he won 4.5 of the 5 rounds of that fight. Lost the belt anyways. Khamzat Chimaev is coming on strong. He's ranked number 3 right now. I don't know if he's going to fight for the welterweight title. I don't know if he'll fight in the welterweight division this year. But if he does, I would imagine he'd be the favorite to win that fight. Bilal Muhammad's a beast. I mean, Gilbert Burns is a beast. You even have, there's people talking about freaking Jorge Masvidal. And there's some actual talk about him fighting for the title. With that being said, I don't think Jorge Masvidal deserves that. But if Leon Edwards and Jorge Masvidal fight, it's not even a for sure 100% done conclusion that Leon Edwards wins that fight. So, I'm sorry, Leon Edwards. I know I'm always not believing in you, and I know that's your story. You're the underdog. But I gotta pick against you and say there's gonna be a different champion in 2023 by the end of it. Alex Pereira, middleweight division. Dethroned Israel Adesanya. You have to imagine he's going to fight Israel Adesanya again this year. If he goes through him, you got to imagine he's going to fight someone like Robert Whittaker, maybe even a Khamzat Chimaev. With that being said, I don't think Alex Pereira finishes the year as champion. I think we see a new middleweight champion. It could be Robert Whittaker. It could be Izzy. I don't think it's anyone past that, really. There's not a whole lot of people who are... I mean, Dricus du Plessis, I see Alex Pereira beating him. I don't know a lot of guys in that top 10 that could, go on a run and beat Alex Pereira other than Whittaker, Adesanya, and then maybe a wild card like Khamzat Chimaev. Light heavyweight, there is no champion. I think there will be a champion by the end of 2023. So I guess for fun, I'll pick the champ. This is tough. Is Jiri Prochazka going to be back? Does Glover win and retire? Does Jamal Hill beat him and then lose to someone else? Magomed Ankalaev, is he going to fight in the UFC again? Jan Blachowicz, does he come back? Alexander Rakic, does he come back? He's injured. Anthony Smith, does he rebound? It's a weird situation. It's a very, very weird situation. I will say Magomed Ankalaev is your champion at the end of 2023. I'm just feeling it. Okay? Moving on to heavyweight. Like a sleeper pick is being like John Jones is going to be the champion. But Francis Ngannou, he's the current champion. Will he be the champion at the end of 2023? This is tough because I don't even know if he's going to fight in the UFC. It's one of those things, guys. It's one of those things. I'm going to say Francis Ngannou is your champion at the end of 2023. I think he fights again. I think he wins. And I don't see a lot of these guys beating him. I mean, he's beat Curtis Blades twice. He beat Cyril Gane, beat Stipe. Sergey Pavlovich is coming on. John Jones is going to fight him, I hope. That's what I want. I want John Jones versus Francis. I think Francis wins that. More on that later. All right. Women's strawweight. Zhang Weili's your champion. She just beat Carla Esparza. I think if Rose Namajunas wants that fight again for the third time, I think she gets it. With that being said, I think this is a new Zhang Weili. I think Zhang Weili wins. Amanda Lemos, she's got a lot of hype. She's been performing very well. I think Zhang Weili just butchered that pronunciation. That was borderline racist, bro. That was terrible. I think Zhang Weili's different. I think she hits different. I think she's a new breed right now. I think she's your champion of the strawweight division by the end of 2023. And now, moving on to women's flyweight, Valentina Shevchenko. All right, guys. This one's interesting because the person I'm looking out for is Erin Blanchfield and also Taya Santos and Manon Fiorot. Man, dude. I'm going to say that Valentina Shevchenko loses her title in 2023 because she's fairly active. She fights a lot. Her last fight, I scored it against her. I thought Taya Santos won that fight. I think if they get a rematch, Taya Santos could win that. I think the division's starting to catch up to Shevchenko a little bit here. No disrespect to her. I think she's one of the greatest, if not the greatest, of all time. And I just feel like it's time. Every dog has their day, and I don't think she's washed, but I think the division's catching up, and she could lose her belt. Now, Amanda Nunes, your bantamweight champion, will end the year as champion. Because in this bantamweight division, I just don't know who else. If Juliana Pena comes back, I think Amanda Nunes wins that fight. You got Ketlin Vieira. I don't see her winning. It's just not a whole lot of new faces in this bantamweight division. So I'm going to go ahead and say Amanda Nunes is your bantamweight champion. In terms of featherweight, I mean, Kayla Harrison's not coming here. Even if she was, they'd probably fight at lightweight. She's your okay, how about this? There is no champion of featherweight at the end of 2023 because they get rid of that division and there's just strawweight, flyweight, and bantamweight. So there it is. Those are the people who loses. Nice. Good Englishes, Mason. Good Englishes. Those are the champions who lose their belts at the end of 2023. What do you guys think? Let me know your own personal list in the comment section below. I'm curious what you think. If you're just listening to this on like Apple or Spotify, then go on Cyclone MMA on YouTube and give me your list because I am curious as to what you think. Like this video. Like this video. Like this video. If you're not liking this video, then what are we doing? What are we doing if you're not liking this video? You watched up until here and you said, I'm good. No like here. You watch the entire video and you go, it's kind of mid. It's kind of whatever. I don't really want to like it. Heck, even dislike it. Don't dislike it. I don't like that. I don't know what I'm talking about, so we're moving on. Peacing out. Bye. If you can't tell, I'm really sick right now. I can't even hear out of this ear right here. I can't hear out of it. It's throwing me off. I've recorded 3 videos today. And the ones you're watching came out before this one. And now I'm just rambling and talking about it. And dude, it's hard to talk when you can't hear yourself. It's brutal. You keep wanting to cough. I got snot down my throat. It's disgusting. My voice, though, hot, sexy. Love it.